The second of two landmark cases on gay marriage goes before the Supreme Court today. Good morning. Welcome to the News Hub. I'm Rolf Winkler. Yesterday, oral arguments were conducted regarding the future of California's Proposition 8, a voter initiative that rescinded marriage rights for same-sex couples in that state. Today, the focus turns to the Defense of Marriage Act, which defines marriage as the union of a man and a woman for the purpose of federal law. In a nutshell, it says that even if a state recognizes gay marriage, the federal government won't pay benefits, for instance. Wall Street Journal's Peter Landers joins us. Pete from Washington. Peter, thanks so much for getting up early this morning.
No problem. Good morning.
Okay, so of the two cases, DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, is a little more modest in scope as it relates to the Supreme Court, correct?
That's right. I think it might be something of an easier lift for the justices who expressed such difficulty yesterday in coming to grips with this case from California. They felt like gay marriage, several of them said, is such a new institution. They were hesitant to take a big step and perhaps say that it must be permitted in all 50 states. So that was the California case yesterday. Today, we're talking about the Defense of Marriage Act, and it just is a question of whether the federal government should recognize marriages that states have already permitted. And maybe that's a little bit more modest in scope, as you say.
So in one sense, with Proposition 8, it could be interpreted, the justices could respond to the Proposition 8 case by creating a new marriage right nationwide. On the other hand, with DOMA, they could just say the federal government needs to get out of telling states what they, if the state has recognized gay marriage, the federal government would just recognize what the state has already decided as it really.
That's right. And marriage has traditionally been a matter for the states to handle. I was married in the state of California. The federal government never looked at my papers or anything. It was just the state of California. And then the federal government recognized my marriage when it comes to my taxes or that kind of thing, because my marriage is to a woman. But if you're married to a man, then under this law, the federal government intervenes and says, wait a minute, we don't recognize that marriage. And so the question is, before the court today, can the lawyers defending the Defense of Marriage Act, can they offer some legitimate justification for Congress to take that kind of step?
Speaking of the lawyers that are defending the Defense of Marriage Act, one that isn't is Eric Holder's Justice Department.
That's right. The Obama administration 2 years ago said that it thought the Defense of Marriage Act was unconstitutional. It declined to defend it in court. In fact, the Solicitor General representing the administration will be in court today to argue that the court should throw out this law. And so the Republican-led House of Representatives stepped in to the breach and hired Paul Clement, a very distinguished lawyer, especially on conservative cases, to defend this law. And one of the questions today is whether they even have legal standing to do so. So they're going to spend 50 minutes talking just about the standing question before spending an hour to talk about the merits of the case.
And we'll continue in a second, Peter. I do want to give viewers a note that you can go on our website and read the entire transcript and hear full audio from both days of the sessions inside the court. So check out our website for that. Peter, coming back to you, what would happen immediately if DOMA is struck down? What impact would that have on gay couples?
Well, it would directly affect those in the 9 states plus the District of Columbia that already recognize a same-sex marriage. Those couples would get the full federal rights of marriage as well. It wouldn't affect anybody immediately in the other 40 states. And so that's another reason why perhaps the justices could say, well, this is something that states can decide. But we'll have to see what they conclude. Yesterday, as we saw, they were quite hesitant to take any kind of bold step on gay marriage.
Peter, I think we're expecting a decision on this one in late June. Thank you very much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it.
Sure thing.